Hi, this is Julie Torrens. Welcome to my studio. If you are new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So today I've got some 12 by 12, and this is a one-sided 12 by 12 that I got from a paper pack, and I picked it up at Tuesday morning, but there are just some sheets that I like better than others. So I'm just going to turn this over and I'm going to make some tags. Now, tags are fun in junk journals, but they're also fun in things like greeting cards. If you want to tuck it into a card, even if you didn't make the card, you can tuck in a tag. And you can use them in your art journal. They make a really fun place as a kind of a hiding spot for some journaling. It's just fun. So I'm going to be working with, to cover this all in just plain texts and things like music note paper, but no pictures. So that's what I'm getting started. I've got ephemera ready. I'm just going to get started while I talk. I've got some ephemera here ready. I've got my glue stick and my glue book. I've got some sprays. I've got a stencil. So I've got inks. We're just going to go to town. So I'm doing this with glue stick. Now, if you saw me do, and I hope you did, if you didn't, take a look, where I did 3 or 4 backgrounds, all in different art journals. And I used gel matte medium. And I did that because I didn't know what I'd be using on top. And so I didn't know if I'd be using, heavy duty wet mediums, or I didn't know. It's my art journal. So this time for these tags, I know that I'm not going to be saturating them because it's not that heavy and it's just not designed for that. But we're still going to, have fun and boost them up and all that kind of stuff. So I've got some book page there. This is, not too bad of a margin. This is a recipe book that I got that's from the 70s. And I'm just cutting it up, ripping it apart, and I'm just using it as text. And the reason why I picked this out was because it was obviously done on an electric typewriter and then it was copied. So that font is just so cool. Not like anything that I have seen. And it's old, so it's kind of got that foxing going on. So it's just fun. Now, I don't care if how about putting it on the right way, Julie? Glue down. If you're new to journaling, it's glue stick side down to do adhesive works. Blah, blah, whatever. Dummy. Anyway, I don't care if they're upside down. I don't care if they're sideways, but I tend to not go catty corner. Now, I've seen artists that do. It's beautiful. I just can't, I don't know. When I do it, it just looks to me like everything's going to fall off the page. I don't know. It's just an emotion that it gives me that it doesn't make me happy. So do what makes you happy in your crafting, in your art journals, in your tag making, card making. Make yourself happy. So I just tried to pick, different fonts and just different things to go on this so that we get a combination and it's, stays interesting. Now I'm using up these pages pretty fast, but some of these are pretty old, and if they get hooked up into the glue stick that's on my glue book, they will just tear or crumble. So I'm just being extra careful as I glue stick these down. In many ways, I don't think glue stick is any faster, but what it is, I glued the wrong side. What is faster is the dry time. And so because I'm hoping so that we can get this done from start to finish. That's my goal. I'm even optimistic enough that I've got a whole nother 12 by 12 ready to go if we can do an extra set, because I'm completely out of tags and I love them. I use them for so much. So we shall see. Will we get more than one done? I don't know, but we will see. Okay. Keeping the process going. So as I glue, you can tell me what's going on in your life. What's going on in your neck of the woods? Where are you from? Are you in the US? Are you overseas to me? I'm in Michigan, and it's April. It's about the middle of April now, and our weather has been very pretty today. Some overcast, but right now it's severe clear with sun just beaming in. I had to turn my blinds a little bit because I was ending up with all the stripes across our work area here. So I thought, well, no, although that can be a really cool look in a photograph, for making a YouTube video, not so much. I think it would be distracting. Yeah, this is really sticky. Ooh. Let's go. We don't have time for this, Julie. We don't have time. All right. The glue stick I use is Scotch, and it's Scotch permanent glue stick. And as I've told others, you know, this isn't the only glue stick I like. I like one that's made by Elmer's, and it's called Extra Strength. And I like the Diane Reevely. She puts out one that's really good. So I'm not just married to this, but if you're looking at glue sticks and if it says things like very washable, those can be designed more for children. And that way, if a child glues something on the wall or on the dining room table or on their clothes, it's washable. Whereas this, not so much. Now, I do know I've used this glue stick on my acrylic blocks that I put my stamps on when I have a stamp that's not sticky anymore. And it does wash off of those just fine. So, you know, never say never, but I just know that this glue stick is really designed to stick. And don't put something together that you're thinking later you're going to take apart, because I think you're going to have a time of it. Just saying. How about some music notes, huh? We don't have any of that. I tried to, before I came here with you, to take and get some of these white margins off, because I don't want a lot of margins. I want, you know, the text or the music notes or whatever. I don't want big white gaps. That's what I'm trying to cover up, is all the big white gaps. So there we go. Here's some music note paper. Put it right up there. So what are you crafting? Or what are you building? Or what are you doing? Are you working in a glue book? Maybe you have like a glue book style journal. Those are fun, very fun. Sometimes they look like scrapbooks, which is really cool. And sometimes they look like really fancy collages. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways. I think it was Shannon Green. She was doing, I think she called it a glue book, but she was trying to make the whole journal like black and white, and then maybe some hints of red. That book was cool. I really liked it. And this one has a graph on it, but I'm okay with that. I like that. That's fine. I don't think it'll be distracting because it's all gray. No, I like that. I've not made a glue book, but I'm interested in making a glue book. I think they look like a lot of fun, especially for things like tickets, and brochures and things like that of places that mean something to you or me. I just think that's really neat. Okay, if I'm going over the edge a little bit, I have no problem with coming back and just trimming those off. But also at the same thing, if the edge has little bits where it didn't quite make it to the edge, especially since they're torn edges, I'm not worried about that either. We're going to be not only putting this on, but we're going to be putting some ephemera on top, and we're going to be doing some other things on top. I've got so many supplies, I barely have time to work here, but you are worth it. Yes, you are. I'm not as concerned, because I am going to be cutting these out, if I have too many likes close together, because none of these are going to be that big. Do you know what I mean? The tags are going to absorb and break it up. So what's over on the left isn't going to be seen on the right, and vice versa, because it's going to be cut. And like I said, I need tags. I'm glad I had this this thought of making some tags, because I really need them. I love them. I think that people can use them as bookmarks, and I think that they add just a little homemade from me kind of a touch. And I just think that's nice. I appreciate that when I get something, don't you? Sure you do. I'm sure you do. So I went to the grocery store today, and it's a little bit sad, because where I go to the grocery store, there is a huge, I mean huge, apartment complex. I can't even begin to tell you how many units it is, but it's many acres. And a big building had caught fire a couple weeks ago. And I'm sure they're waiting for like insurance money or, something in that line where they need to, wait, or maybe there's some kind of inspections. Who knows? But it hasn't been touched. So you just look at this, I don't know, it's like the Hindenburg skeleton or something. It's just sad, because that was heartbreaking for everyone involved. So I don't know, it makes me just kind of sad when I go over to my Aldi, because there is this burned out building, and it's just sad. But, say a prayer for them and just trust. I do have, for myself, I have renter's insurance for just that kind of thing. And as far as I know, as far as they've reported, which, not that it's any of my business, but this had to do with a snafu in the electrical. That was the initial guess, and I really haven't heard anything since. So I'm not sure what was all decided, and again, it's none of my business. And I can't say that I'm out there trying to read up on it every day. No, I'm not doing that either. Okay, this glue stick is trying to be gone. It's getting right at the bitter edge, but every little piece that I can squeeze out of it, I'm gonna try. Let's put this here. Is it springtime where you are? We had weather that was in the 50s, in the upper 50s. We might have hit 60. It wouldn't surprise me if we did. Kind of jacket weather, but you certainly didn't need your heavy-duty coat anywhere that you went today. I ran a few errands. Oh, I went to the county health department, huh? How about that? Is that interesting? I'm a nurse, and I have to get a TB test. And, this is something I've done for years. It's nothing new to me, and I certainly don't mind it. It's just part of the process, goes with the territory. But the corporate offices that keep track of all that is far. It's over a 2-hour drive. And so, okay, this glue stick has had it. All right, I've got another one right here. So anyway, I just did it on my own, and then I just turn in the receipt, and then I can get my money back. It was only $30. Not that, I'm not saying that's nothing, but it's something I can spend and then wait for the refund to show up on my check. That's not to me, it's just as fair. I don't have an issue with having to do that, since I live far from the corporate, and that's my choice. So they didn't beg me to move out here. I moved out here because I wanted to. Okay, see if we can get right there. I'm trying that's where I'm aiming for. So we'll see how far I get with this. Yeah, the health department. It was a typical government type building, and but it was nice. It was clean. Certainly wasn't fancy, but clean means a whole lot more to me than fancy. And the staff that I was working with was very kind and very nice. So would I ever go back there again? Sure I would. And they had free of those N95 whatever masks. I'm going to call this done. And so I grabbed some of those because again, I'm wearing masks everywhere. Don't judge. I don't judge you. Please don't judge me. But I'm wearing masks everywhere because I have a very young grandson, less than a year old. And I also have, in my work, I work with in peds. And the children that I work with are very, susceptible. And I just don't want to have somebody get sick because of me. So that's what's going on. I don't want to put this too far away because we might be able to work on the next one. Okay, so here is step 1. Now I'm going to be decorating this because we're going to be kind of doing this in a mass make and almost like a reverse collage, because I'm really not keeping in mind what's going where. I'm just going to lay stuff on here and then I'm going to cut them up. So, and I may see little things that lift up. No problem. We'll get it all nailed down eventually. Okay, so I've got some ephemera. And one of the things I thought I would put on here is I've got some of these drawn faces that I made. There's a video on this, but it's in one of my making your own ephemera, and it's drawing faces on tissue paper. So I thought, yeah, this would be a fun thing. Now, will a whole face end up on one tag? Probably not, but it's interest. And I do think that if you don't see the whole face, you will see enough to know what it is that it is. So I wouldn't even hardly call this fussy tearing. I'm just tearing off some of these heavier white edges. But honestly, if they're there, it doesn't matter. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's get the glue thing. I thought I was done gluing. I don't know why. But I'm going to put this on now. I'm looking, and so this is the shiny side. So that I drew it on the other side. Now this is delicate, so don't want to put it in a sticky spot. But you can put tissue down with glue stick. It's a little tricky, but because I don't want to just put the glue stick on the paper, because if I overshoot it, you can tell. And especially when I start hitting it with sprays and stuff, you can tell. So I just want the glue stick on the face. And my fingers are going to stick fast to this, but it's all good. It's okay. We're not going to get worked up about it. And I'm just going to put her right here. There. And I've got some credit cards here. Don't we all get these in the mail? Let's just cut this down. And I'm going to just put it on. Now, these are not as fragile as, let's say, a napkin. That I can tell you. but it's more fragile than a plain piece of paper. So, okay, I like her. Now I'm going to put this one on and just take off the bulk of this white. Yeah, so I went to my Aldi today, and here it is coming into spring. Well, we are in spring. And they had some blankets on sale, quite a bit on sale, queen size. And I've got some company coming. And so for a spare bed, I bought one of these blankets for like half price because, you know, I suppose people think of these things more in the winter, but she's coming in just, a little over a week. She'll be here. She'll arrive here, and it's going to be cold. The furnace is going to be running, I promise, that night. Sure it is. So I wanted her to have a nice blanket. And here goes my second girl. And see, it goes down okay. I mean, it may get a wrinkle here or there, but it's all part of the texture and the look of these tags. So I'm okay with it. Maybe you're saying you're going to wait till the finished product to see if you'd like that. Well, then I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. Okay, so what other ephemera do I have? I've got this music note paper that I already sprayed. So I guess I could just attach that right there. Okay, done and done. There was only about, out of all the people that were shopping there, and it was pretty early, so I would say the store was pretty quiet, but there was only me and one other person in a mask. And so it's obvious that the whole virus thing is, you know, people are just feeling more confident, and I'm glad to see that. You know, this was stressful, so now people are relaxing a little bit. Yeah, and I want us to have a good summer. That would be great. Okay, I've got another piece of that purple. I think I'm going to turn it into two. And I think I'm going to put this one over here someplace. And again, I'm not worrying about the composition of this paper as a whole. But I would just like, you know, different things on different tags. They'll be kind of a common theme, I'm sure. Just because of, you know, the supplies that I gathered for this particular go-round. And that's fine. You know, at the Aldi, they had very little chicken, very little. And the other meat prices, the pork and the beef, so high. Wow. And that's just sad. You know, is it anyone's fault? I don't know. What difference does it make? It is what it is, and you just live with it. But it has altered my shopping, that's for sure. But I wouldn't say that my shopping is less healthy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that I'm sacrificing my nutrition. No, I'm just making some choices that are different than my run-of-the-mill. And I'll tell you, produce, fruit, vegetables, plenty, which is good. Okay, so digging into the ephemera, this is something that I made with a painty paper, and I think I'm just going to lay that right in there, just like that. And yep, just like the collage underneath where things overlap, I'm expecting some of these things to overlap as well. Maybe I'll put it over here. Yeah, I like that. Nice and bright. I like it with the purple. Yeah, good. I think I have another one of those. I do. Let's put this one down. And I have the video up where I made this ephemera from what I call painty papers. They're just papers that rather than throw away, work with acrylic paints and other things. And well, we don't need to cover her face anymore. She's already got a little bit of her face covered. So we'll just go ahead and put this here. Yeah. Yep. Let's get rid of this. I know I talked about Aldi in another video. I find it very handy for the things that I generally shop for. So this is more made out of the painty paper like this, and I just cut them out with punches. So I've got some ovals and I've got some circles. So I'm just going to glue some of these down here and there. Probably have too many, but let's just get started. Do any of you have gardens? And are you getting them started? Do you grow flowers or vegetables or both? A little bit of both? Maybe you put in a big garden, like a victory garden, and then can. Did anybody do something like that? Is it a lost art? I don't can because I don't have that many people. It's just me. So I just don't think it would be economical. Now my sister, she there's just two there, and she and her husband, they've canned tomatoes. I know. I don't think they grew the tomatoes though. I think they went and got them from a farmer's market, which is great. I know we have a farmer's market here where I live, but I moved in July and had a grandbaby born about less than 10 days after I got here. And so, you know, then it was all about the baby, of course. And so I didn't really look for a farmer's market last summer or fall, but I think I will. I enjoy the farmer's market, and I love some of the other homemade things that are there, like the people that make candles and the people that make things like maybe they have one of those honey farms. And yes, I love to get the honey from places like that, but I also like to get the products that they make from their honeycomb and just all that. I enjoy that very much. Okay, what else can we do? I was thinking about a little bit of stenciling. So I pulled a stencil out and I've got my inks, and I just thought some stenciling with some archival ink would be fun. So I've got this is just a cosmetic sponge, and I've got my ink pad, and it's neutrals. So I thought I would just work a little with this. I thought it would be fun. This is a Diane Reevely, and I think this one is called Fancy Floor. I'm not positive, but it's a nice big stencil, and I just thought it would be fun. So I think this is kind of a gray color. So I'm gonna use a little of that here. Yeah, ooh, genius. Okay, there we go. My fingers are still sticky. I like the archival because I'm working on top of some acrylic paint, and I know it won't want to rub off. You know what I mean? Why do I say that so much? That's a bad habit. Let me try to get rid of that habit, huh? But sometimes the water base that are designed to move with water, they sometimes move when they're on like a slippery, shiny surface. So that's why I'm not using that style of paint today, or ink. I'm going to grab a different color, and I'm just going to move this and maybe put some over here. And yeah, I want one of the, I don't want it all gray and black. I can use some of this. And even though I realize that what's showing up on one won't probably not show up on the next one, I still want variety. Maybe I'll give someone 2 tags, right? Never know. Never know. If they're lucky, huh? Oh, this is fun. I hope you're having fun. Maybe you're working on something totally different and just have me in the background. Maybe you're doing housework or something like that. Okay, now I'm just going to take, well, I'm right here on top of my work, and I'm going to take a plain dry paper towel, and I'm just going to rub off the majority, and it will leave marks on the tags below. Not much, but a little. And so I'm just happy to have it go right on these tags. I'm just moving it a little bit so that it's, yeah, in a white spot, or a spot that we haven't done anything with yet. Okay. So that'll leave like a shadow. It won't be a lot, but it'll be there. So I like that added interest. Okay. So now I've got this bag, and these are where we took the scraps and we threw them in a box, and then we splattered and we splashed and all that. So I'm just pulling out some that I want them to be paper-like. I don't want them to be cardstock-like. And I'm just going to glue a few of these down. Now, that's a coffee filter. That's good. And they've got, you know, a lot of shimmers and things like that. So the purple ones, I was trying to fish out a purple one, but the purple ones all seem to be kind of cardstocky, and I really, here's one. Okay, there we go. That ought to give us a good start. There was even some shimmers and stuff on there, so let's glue some of these on, and let's get rid of the ink for now. And let's put some of these on. I'm not going to use them in this big of a form. I'm going to cut them down just a little bit. Are any of you sewers? Or do you work like in making journals and sew the covers and things like that? Or, you know, fabric and textiles? It fascinates me. Never been good at it, but I am getting into making my own journals. Okay, now this side has shimmer. This side doesn't, so I'm going to go with the shimmer up. I'm wanting to make my own, and there are certain applications as you're making these journals that you don't have to have a sewing machine, but I can see it sure would be nice. So it's one of the things that I'm saving up for as I do my YouTube videos is I'd like to get a sewing machine. I really would. So for me to become monetized on YouTube, I have to have 1,000 subscribers. And right now, I think I have about 30. And you have to have 4,000 watch hours. And I think I've got about 50. But I'm brand new. I am not complaining. And I was just watching a video today about, well, designed for people that are just getting started in YouTube or considering it. And the main thrust of the whole talk was don't give up. And that a lot of the people that had started when they did, but are no longer around, it's not because they were necessarily not putting out quality or whatever. They just gave up too soon, and it takes time. So I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to keep at it. And I'll tell you, I enjoy it. It's more work than I had anticipated, but it's not a lot more. I can just tell though, obviously, if it's more now, as I grow, and I believe I'll grow, it's going to get even more. Okay, so where is kind of a blank space? Maybe up here? Okay. All right. I think I'm good with those, but I'm going to save them in case we have time to make another one. Sure am. Now, I've got some rubber stamps, I've got some sprays, I've got all kinds of things to do on this. Why don't we change gears and hit it with some sprays? I've got some crushed grape, which that's 3 here. That's crushed grape. So I think I might save that. Okay, this is bubblegum pink. I love that. So, and I'm not going to be trying to saturate. I'm just going to push on this very slow, and it's going to give me more drops than it is going to give me overall spray. Well, we're still getting overall spray, but that's okay. Yeah. Just some kind of drops is what I was looking for. Yeah. Just pushing it real slow. There. Okay. I like that. Doesn't that ramp it up a bit? And now, check my videos. I had a Ranger haul, and what it was a mystery box. And so it was great fun and a great value. I honestly think I have maybe $75 to $100 worth of products. I really do. So this was one of them, and this is a Delusions Mica spray. So the liquid is clear, and it's the mica that is going to create some color, but it is very subtle, but that's okay. And I haven't tried it yet. That's why it's taking a few pumps, but it, I was watching some of the Ranger videos on it. I like Ranger products. I love their archival ink. Honestly, I don't really use any others. You know, maybe a little bit of Tim Holtz, but even that, I buy the colors that he makes, but I get the archival. I think it's just all purpose. Okay, this is a little wet now. So I've got my heat tool and I'm going to dry it up. So I will go ahead and I will speed through this. You know, I'm going to just hit it with the editor. Okay. Other than a few little places that are on acrylic paint, I'm just going to dab those. But other than that, we are dry. Okay, good. Now, how about some rubber stamping? I've got my inks again, and I just grabbed some florals. And they're some of my favorites, so I'll show you. This is the Tim Holtz, and it's called Flower Garden. Yep, Flower Garden. So I had them for a while, so if you tell me, well, I can't find it, I won't be surprised. And I'm just going to pick 2 out. And I've got my... There, she's stuck. And I'm going to go with one of the darker shades. This one I think is a dark brown. And I'm just going to stamp here, there, here, there. That came out nice. That came out nice. I'm really not a rubber stamper, but for my mixed media, I do enjoy them. Sometimes I find I pay attention more to the middle of a piece like this and not enough to these edges. So I'm gonna put some of these flowers on the edge. Okay, I'm going to set this one aside, and then this one it kind of reminds me of a cone flower, and I'm using a different color, and my book is getting in the way. So let's put this here. Yeah. I know I'm pounding, but I'm sitting, so I'm really not putting as much pressure on as you might think as I tap, tap, tap the ink on. And the archival, it is not as juicy as just the distress. Okay. Are there any big obvious spots? You know, from your angle, you can see better than I can. Okay. I think we're getting there. What do you think? I think we've got a lot of variety, and we can still, if we want to, we can still put more. So, how about if we start cutting? What do you say? Won't it be fun? I'm going to turn it over. And the first thing I'm going to see, do I have any large? I don't have any large areas where my collaging kind of overran it, and you know, where I would trim up the edges. So this is 12 by 12. So the first thing I'm going to do, I hope I have room. I should. We'll figure it out, won't we? We'll see what I push off the back end of this. So I'm going to start with, and see, I like this paper well enough to have it be the back. So the back is like finished now. So I'm going to go with 6 inches. Okay, there's 6 inches. And in case there's any papers, I'm making sure I'm good and tight up on the top. And here we go. All right, there's 6 inches. Did we make it all the way through? Yes. And now I'm going to cut, whoop, not supposed to peek. Now I'm going to cut these into 3 inches. So 12 minus 3 is 9. Again, I want to make sure I'm up against the top. And then I want to go 6. And if it's not exact, it's fine. It's just fine. And then 3. Okay. Keeping it a mystery. Okay. These are going to be sideways. But we're not going to look, but see how this is up and down this way? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at 6. And then I'm going to cut 3 and 3. Okay, there's 3. And there's 3. All right. The big reveal. Let's see what we got. So here's 1. I love it. Here's 2. I love it. Here's 3. I love it. Here's 4. And here's 5. Is this 1? Yeah, okay. And here's 6. I'm just turning it so the flowers are right. And here's 7. And here's 8. Our ladies are sideways. I don't mind a bit. I really don't. Okay, I'm happy with these. I mean that most sincerely. I'm very happy with these. All right, so let's cut them into tag shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 1. And I like a generous corner off. I see some people and they just barely trim the corner. And you know what? It's not wrong. Not wrong at all. But I just like a little bit more of an exaggerated tag. So I don't want this to be too wiggly. I'm just not holding it right. And it's not helping that my fingers are still sticky. That's okay. Here we go. And there. Well, there. There we go. Okay, now I can throw these two little pieces away. And then I'm just going to use this tag to be like the template for the rest. So let's see if we can do that. We should be able to, right? If we did the math right. And then if I see anything really sticking out, I can take care of that as well. Okay, now we've got two. All right, I need to keep one in my hand. Now, for some reason, this one seems to be a lot taller than that one. We're not going to sweat it. It's totally fine. Could have been off 1/8 of an inch. It really doesn't matter. Yep, this one's shorter too. So I cut something wrong, but again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I just want it to be center. Okay, and let's do another one. Does this seem like a project that you would consider doing? Making some art tags? Another thing that these are good for is just like when you're using a gift bag, and if you're like me, I reuse gift bags. Maybe you're not like me. Maybe I'm the only one that does that, but I don't think so. I think I've gotten some gift bags that it was more than once around, and good. Let's repurpose and reuse. But usually if you're doing that, the tag that's on it is already addressed to you. So you can take that one off, and then you can put one of these beautiful art tags on, right? Sure you can. Okay, if there's a right or a wrong way, not really, so that's all right. Let me get these cut off. Okay. Am I getting them all? I hope so. Feels like it went kind of fast. You might be thinking that you're dying over there, just hoping I get done at some point reasonable. I'm trying. All right, let's see what we've got, and maybe I'll find one that I missed. Okay, here's a tag, and I'm not going to be punching holes in them because sometimes what I do is I make kind of like a loop on top, you know, like a piece of lace or something here. Like I've got something like this, and I'll put it around like that, especially if I want it to be pulled out. Sometimes I put a bigger hole and then I add fibers. So I'm just going to leave that to when I'm closer to using them. I'm just seeing, and this is when I kind of take a look and I see a little bit of paper coming up here. So I'm just going to hit it with the glue stick. And, you know, once everything is dry and you know, some paper shrinks and some paper doesn't, you may need to do some of that again. And that's, you know, it's no big deal. You just hit it with a little glue stick. Okay, here's another one. And this one looks fine. And this one looks fine. And here's another one. And here's another one. And I think you'll be able to see it if I put it here. I hope so. Maybe you're seeing my coffee. I don't know. And here's another one. So, can you see them? I think they're great. I am very, very happy with these. Okay, well, If you enjoyed this process, if you think you're going to make some more, please consider hitting the thumbs up, and I would be so grateful. You can help towards my sewing machine buying by subscribing and help me get those up. And if there's something that this is maybe something that a friend might enjoy, you can share the videos really easy. There's just a curved arrow and it'll just guide you right through to sharing the video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.